Hi everyone, it's me Jo. Today I've actually been doing a few videos because I'm on my way out tonight. I'm going to get mojitos with my friends. But I decided to do a few videos just to get some done because I've been so busy. I've been moving apartments, I'm getting my keys on Monday if all goes well. I'm trying to plan furniture and all that jazz. But I've also had to take about a week and a half off just because I've been working on my face and I've had a little bit done to my face, which hopefully you guys shouldn't be able to notice much of a difference. That's my intention behind it, but it's life-changing for me, and I'll explain why today, and I'll talk about surgery. So one of the things that you guys don't know about, even though I do talk a lot about the things I don't like about my face in videos, and therefore I've developed techniques to fix them, like gluing my eyelid, contouring my nose straight, cutting off the corners of my lips so they're very symmetrical. I'm obsessed with symmetry, and you guys probably don't even know this. Well, some of you that are very attentive and very smart bitches will probably know this, but I actually flip everything I put online. All my videos, or all the photo shoots I do, I get them back and I'm like, no, we're flipping them. You see what I see when I look in the mirror, and it's so dramatically different looking when it's flipped to me. It's not even going to look any different to you guys. None of my friends, all my friends think I'm crazy. But if you drew a line down my face before and flipped it, my face was very, very different on each side. And everyone's face is asymmetrical. That's normality, that's what makes us look unique. But for me, it was so different because I do my makeup so specifically for me. It's almost like carving out a real life version of who I am inside. It sounds weird, but that's how I feel about it. That's how I use makeup to kind of control what I look like and to make me feel happy as well. I think there's something to do with feeling happy in your own skin. So I've looked into surgery because I'll talk through the major things now. I've been very insecure about my nose. My nose has always been crooked, and I've talked about that in 1,000 videos. I can fix it in makeup, and I can fix it to look perfect to me in a reflection, but when you reverse it, you can see the indentations because I read from left to right. So when I look at a face, I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4, up, down, up, down. When you see it the other way around, I start on this side and I'm like, and it doesn't look like me to me. And this has become such an issue with me that I don't take pictures with people that come up to me that know my work. I don't do any photo shoots anymore with people. I've been approached innumerable times in the last 3 years to do menswear week, to do fashion week, to do a bridal couture show. I've been approached to do a lookbook. I've been approached to go to Paris, do a lookbook. I've always turned down a lot of these things, and I think a lot of photographers are kind of annoyed with me because I have refused so many photo shoots. It has become a huge issue for me, and I've looked into so many ways of fixing it. That I kind of came to a standstill about it, and I was like, I just can't fix it, this is the way it's always going to be. So I went to so many consultations now over the last, I would say, 6 years. I've always wanted to get my nose fixed because it's very crooked, and I always wanted to see what I could do about blepharoplasty, which is when they cut eyelids in, so my eyelids would be the same. And as I've said, I've done videos about these, how I fix them with makeup, but makeup can only do so much. You wash it off at the end of the night, and it didn't fix it flawlessly enough for me to feel confident not being flipped. I know this sounds ridiculous, it sounds like I'm just BDD, but it's a real big issue for me because I'm so particular about the way I look, and I spend so many hours in the front of the mirror doing my makeup specifically the way I want to be. And it's not just about the way I want to look to you guys, it's about carving out who I am to myself in this form. That's how I see it. There's a little bit of a plane. So the plane's gone, I think. So I've been to so many consultations now about my nose, and I've been told that it's going to be quite a complex procedure because my septum was very deviated at the bottom, my nose is kind of collapsed on this side, and it was always kind of slanted like this. And you guys probably won't even see what I'm talking about because I fix it in every video with makeup. But I will show you some pictures on the screen now of what I felt uncomfortable with, and you can see from a photo shoot I did. I was trying to brave it. I was trying to see if I felt good enough to go back to doing more modelling work, and I did say yes for the first time in about 3 years to an amazing photographer called Tom, who asked me to be part of his exhibition. So I'll put those pictures on the screen right now. Now I had an issue because it's not just about the contour as well. Contour is good in even light, it's crap in uneven light. You can see the structure of the nose. So I hated the way my nose looked. I thought it was awful. I went to different surgeons, I've contacted different surgeons online, and they all pretty much said they would do it, but it would probably make my nose look worse, because my nose is strangely very small in width. And a lot of surgeons were like, yeah, we'll just do it, and we'll bring your nose closer into your face. And I think my nose is absolutely fine from the side. It's not a small nose by any stretch of the imagination, but it's straight, and I've never had a problem with my profile. It's never been about the profile, it was about the symmetry. And a lot of, especially male surgeons, have this viewpoint of how noses should look. And to me, I think that's where you lose the subtleties, because it's really not about the structure of the nose, it's about the shadows and the shapes around it and the symmetry. And I don't know what it is, but I've seen it with a lot of male surgeons. They don't see the symmetry, they see the structure first. So I went to get a nose job several times now. I've either been refused flat out and said I was being silly, my nose was fine, or I've been told that it will be very structural and there won't be any subtle changes, it will make my nose look dramatically different, and I wasn't happy with that. I really wasn't happy with that. I wasn't happy with the fact that my nose would be taken higher on my face, because it looks strange. There's something about the proportions that we see. We understand something about a nose to mouth ratio. A lot of my trans friends have nose jobs, and I regret to say I find it really obvious with trans people when they have rhinoplasty, because it's always brought so close to the face that for the length of the face it looks wrong. So I was always quite scared of getting full rhinoplasty, and that was another reason why I chose not to go the surgical route. So it was always fearful for me. I thought, it's only going to make my nose smaller, which won't help the overall proportion of my face, but it will also be, it will kind of be an unnecessary danger to put myself in. I don't think people should go through the whole anaesthesia thing without really having a valid reason to. I think, to be honest, it is a bit vanity. It's about vanity before sanity in a lot of cases, and I've never been that obsessed with the way I look. It's not so much about that side of it to me. It's just about creating what I want to see for me. But I'm not to that level. Does that make sense? Oh, this makes sense. So that was the main concern, the nose. Then because the nose was so asymmetric, it made my cheek look like my cheek was so close to my face. And when I'm in like this way, I had a very gaunt cheek on this side, but on this side I was very projected. That was a concern of mine, because when you contoured it would show up on this side, and then on this side it would look flat and kind of that way. Then I had a problem with my lips, because my lips were that shape, and I always used to draw the corner off on this side. That bothered me, and of course my eye bothered me, because my eyelid was like that on this side and that on this side. You could see it and you couldn't see it on this side. So I had a lot of issues that I had with myself, and they weren't major enough to get surgery, and I have gone for blepharoplasty consulting too. So I looked online for about a year and a half now, and I've tried to look up non-surgical approaches to fix the issues that I've had, and I knew you could fix the cheek and I knew you could fix the mouth with dermal fillers, because they just inject and lift up the bit of the muscle, and it's non-invasive, it doesn't hurt, and it really isn't a big surgical deal. It doesn't do damage to your skin, you really can't have a reaction to it, and most of the time it can look very natural. I kind of came up with this in my head, this kind of like concept that I would use my face as a kind of a map, and we would match up from this side to now this side. So I went to see if I can get filler done, and I went for a filler consultation, and the guy was like, no, we can't do it. I don't know what you want. I don't think your nose it will make your nose look podgy. We'd only put a little bit in and then it would disappear. So I was really disappointed, and I went a couple of weeks ago to a clinic in Brighton, and I was very disappointed not to have it done. Then I found this incredible lady online called Narushka, and she works for Harley Street clinic called Botonics. And I'll link in the description below her videos, because she is incredible, and I'll explain what I've had done. So I have had Botox injected around this side of my muscle that pulls the eyebrow down, and before, you'll probably remember, my eye was like that on the side. So because that has relaxed the muscle that pulls my eyelid down, it's lifted the part of my eyelid that folded. So now my eyes match. And I'm so excited about that, because it means I will never have to use that horrible glue on my eye again, and I didn't have to change anything with surgery. So I still look like me, I just now look the same on both sides, which is my biggest issue that I've ever had. Neurotoxin actually takes like a week and a half or so to actually start working the muscle. It needs to go through the muscle and it gradually improves. I don't want to get Botox in any form because I can barely move my forehead as it is, so I've got very little expression. I don't want any less expression in my forehead, and I've never had it before, so this is my first injection. So it came in a tiny needle, and it didn't hurt. She put lidocaine on my face first, which is a numbing agent, and it felt like less painful than plucking an eyebrow. I really couldn't feel it. I just shut my eye, and it was like 1, 2, 3, and then she pats it kind of in, I guess. So that wasn't instant, but I've seen an effect in the last day and a half, and it's been amazing. So that was so easy to do. Then my nose was next, and she injected the giant hulking gap that I had on this side of my nose completely up, so now it's smooth, and even when I dip down, it's smooth. She then injected, I think it's called the columella, this bit, which is holding up your septum, and I have now a normal columella. And it's lifted my nose straight. I don't know what she did. I don't know how she did it because I was shut. But it didn't hurt so much. It felt more painful than the Botox, but still less painful than plucking an eyebrow because it was numb. So this was fine. She injected a little bit on this side as well to narrow the bump distance between the tip and that bit. So my nose looks generally straighter. Now, it's never going to be perfect on this side because the tip's a little bit still on that side. But it's dead straight on this side, dead straight on this side. My profiles from this point of view and this point of view are now the same. And it's incredible. Oh, I didn't say as well how long things last. That filler was Perlane. And I think because it's in the nose and you move it less, it metabolizes slower than other areas from what I've read online. But it should kind of stay completely for about a year and a half. But you should get it topped up to be exactly how it is after about 8 months to a year, I think. So that was really easy. I almost cried when I saw my nose after because it made such a huge difference to how I felt about myself, and it looked like me. It didn't look like I had a strange, too small Voldemort nose. It didn't make me look like a funny creature. It didn't make me look like a Jocelyn Wildenstein, who I adore, but I didn't have that weird effect. So I was overjoyed. So then I stupidly asked, because I watch these stupid surgery videos all the time, to use a cannula, which is a blunt needle, and they pinch a hole in the skin, and then they poke this needle in, and because it's blunt, it doesn't cause any trauma in the skin, compared to a needle. So, she numbed my cheek, and she punched the hole in my cheek, and I could still feel more on this side than I could on the nose and the brow and everywhere else. It was more painful. So I said to her, could you please, just make the projection the same on this side as this side. So she punched the hole in, she got the cannula in, and oh my god, I could feel it so much. It wasn't numb at all. And as the lidocaine kicked in slowly, because they mix a little bit of lidocaine in with the filler, I could feel it like static electricity under the skin. And because I could feel it and I was aware for it the first time, I held my breath. And because I held my breath, I got really, really faint, and it was very difficult. I had to stop her doing this side. And then it was just horrendously painful for me. It was freaky, deaky, weird, and freaky. I didn't like it. But because she jabbed it in and out and everything, it was evenly distributed and it didn't bruise the skin at all, which is incredible. It was pretty much instant and it was amazing. So that freaked me out, so I sat down for about 10 minutes, got my breath back, had a glass of water, and she talked me through it. She was very lovely. Then we had a little bit left over that she said, if she puts a little bit in the nose to mouth on this side, it will bring up the whole ratio right, and it will kind of, on this side I don't have any indentation on this side because I've got no fat there. Add a little bit, so she put a tiny fraction just in there to bring it the same. So that's, all of this was made to look symmetrical now. The last bit I had a problem with was my lip on this side. So she injected up, and again she used a needle for this, it wasn't the horrible cannula. This again wasn't as numb as everything else was, and it hurt a little bit more, but it was way bearable. It was more bearable than this one. And she injected, and it just lifted my lip to be the same as this side. So that's pretty much what I've had done, and that was Restylane, that wasn't Perlane. I've never had any kind of filler before. It was a new experience for me. It was more and less painful than I imagined at the same time, because I thought the nose was completely the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. Epilating hurt more than it. And really the cheeks thing, it wasn't very painful, it just was the weirdest sensation I've ever felt. So, I can't really express how happy I am. Like, I think I went out for the first time because my swelling in my nose went down. It only took about 3 days or so to go down completely, which it'll probably go down a little bit more. I'm probably talking a bit prematurely because I'm so excited. But I've been using arnica creams and arnica tablets, and you're meant to take zinc before to stop bruising as well, so I was taking zinc before. And it just has made me feel so much more confident. In fact, it's enabled me now to go back and do things that I wasn't able to do before. A lot of jobs that I've been fortunate enough to be asked to do again, I'm now going to take. So I'm super happy. I still look like me. I hope you don't see a dramatic difference, because I certainly don't. So that's really my surgery vlog, and it wasn't really surgery, it was a non-surgical operation. And I think if you guys are looking into getting something but you're too scared to go the surgical route, or you really don't think it will help you, they can do so much now that they've never been able to do before. And for me, this has really revolutionised the way I feel about myself, and it was so easy. I'm really shocked by it. I'm really shocked by it. It's just made me feel so much more confident and happy about the way I look. And I don't know if you guys even think about that about me. I think you guys think I'm this sort of like strange, kind of like ethereal creature that just is perfectly confident. But I've been really insecure about it, and it's just been something that I think has really changed the way I see myself. So everyone seems to love it so far. I hope it stays like this, and I will keep you updated if I do get anything else done, which I don't really think I will, but maybe, we'll see. I've got my 2-week checkup to come next, so I'll give you some more updates when I get some more information, because I think it's really fascinating learning about this stuff. But I'll put all the links of Botonix in below, because I do think she's a genius, and she really did make me feel so much better about the way I looked. So check out her videos as well on here, and definitely look into it if you're considering getting rhinoplasty, but you think maybe it would be a little bit too much for your face, maybe, like I did. Alright guys, well I really hope you liked that vlog. I hope it was educational and interesting. I feel a little bit hungover today because I went out last night, so I'm probably not as enthusiastic as normal. But it was kind of fun to talk about it, and to show off my new face, which is my old face just made symmetrical. Alright guys, well thank you so much. Please subscribe if you're new, and if not, check out my other videos. Thanks guys!